start a draft on DraftMath, you'll have two options, Quick Start and Advanced Draft. Use Quick Start if you just need to change minor features, you're okay with using default projections, and so you can adjust things such as the starting budgets, the number of teams in your league, as well as the PPR. You can also change your roster settings, and there is a flex, but there is no super flex. To have a super flex roster spot available, you'll have to use the advanced drafts. So if I use Quick Start, start draft, you can see it could get a draft started right away. The second way to start a draft is using the advanced draft. Here you can do things such as dynasty mode, save the draft settings, upload custom data, and a lot more. And so you'll be brought to the screen after you click advanced draft, and you can either create a new draft from scratch, or you can use a previously saved draft setting. And so right now I'll do a new setup. And so you have a redraft, which is standard. No one has any players from the previous season, or you can have Dynasty Keeper. Let's set the budget at 300, and let's do, just for the purposes of demonstration, team one, 4 teams. So let's call this team 1, team 2, team 3, and team 4. And these can be actual team names of the teams in your league. This isn't required, so if you do want to leave it blank, you can leave it blank. But if you do want to track how much everyone else is spending, what players they have, you'll have to fill that out. Here you can set the roster settings. And again, you can change the Superflex option is now available. And so I'll set that to 1. And here you can either select a default or custom data. So the default data will use data scraped from popular websites using their projections. And you can set the PPR, and it'll also be based on the total number of teams as well as your starting budget. Or you can use custom, and you can upload a data set. If you don't like those projections, you don't like the projected bid, you can upload an entirely custom data set as an option. For now, let's just do default. Let's set the PPR to 1. And so this place is where you can set your pre-draft settings. So for instance, let's say you feel, you don't want to offend anyone. Well, let's just say you don't think Justin Jefferson is going to have the year that he's going to have and that he's overhyped. You can click here and set a do not draft, and Justin Jefferson will be excluded from any draft calculations on your optimal team. Regarding keeper leagues, you can set who has what player. For example, let's say you have CD from the last year. In order to retain him, you had to spend $68. And then Jahmyr Gibbs, team 2 had him, and they have to spend 45. And so you can go through that exercise of marking which team has each for their dynasty or keeper league. After that, click Save and Continue, and you can set some more parameters. So right now, the minimum amount that you have to reserve for your bench is $1 per bench player. And so if you have 6 bench players, you can have $6. But let's say you want a deeper bench and you want to reserve $20 to spend on those 6 bench players. This is where you can adjust it. The next part is precision. And so for each player that you evaluate, the calculation time can take a bit of time depending on internet connection and other factors. If you want it to run fast, set it to low. If you want more precision, but it's going to take a little bit more time, set it to high. And so that's how you can think of the precision. Dynamic pricing, and so the price of players and their projected bid will change as the draft goes on. For example, if Saquon Barkley, a tier 1 running back, goes for $20 over asking price, it's very likely another tier 1 running back such as Bijan Robinson will also go over asking. The dynamic pricing will take that into account and adjust Bijan Robinson after Saquon Barkley is drafted. Whereas if this option is not selected, there will be a predetermined projected bid for each player, and then that will be constant for the duration of the draft. And so you can change the setting throughout if you don't feel like the dynamic pricing is accurate. But for now, for now, I'm going to leave it blank. This next option is other team tracking. And so it'll be easier to explain it once I start a draft. And so you can look at the video for that. But essentially, for each player that you do not draft, that someone else drafts, you will have to select what team drafts them. And so was it team two, team three, or team four? And by doing so, there will be an option to click on a report and see how everyone's doing in terms of the positions they drafted already, as well as the amount of money they spent. And finally, a draft setting name, so you can go back to it later. So I'm just going to call it demo draft, and you're going to click save settings and start draft. And so after I start the draft, you can see that CeeDee Lamb was my keeper player, and so he is bolded. And you can also see that Jahmyr Gibbs is also drafted because he was also, I think, team three. And so, and then also the bench budget is $20 because that's what I specified in the previous page. The next thing I want to talk about is going back to advanced draft. If I exit out that draft, I'd saved it the night before and now it's go time. I don't have to recreate that entire draft. I can just go to view save drafts and then this demo draft. If I click on the check button, I can access it again. Another thing I can do from that page is if I made a mistake, I can edit it and go through that as well. And so that is a quick draft and advanced draft start.